About a year ago, Ryan first came into the office. Now, Ryan had a company called 247 Professional Health, and it's a family-run business that had been going for about 30 years. When he first came in, he was looking for a logo, as everybody does, and he wanted some social media training. But as talking to Ryan, he needed much more than that. He needed a brand, something that was a little bit more energy about it, and not corporate and not, like what everyone else is doing. I think he just did that initial first meeting with it just to get a gauge of me, get a gauge of what Tim Marner was all about, because I don't think I had a clue what branding is. A rebrand, we're talking at least a year to get this going. So he said, look, I need to talk to him, I need to talk to her, bring her back in, meet me, and then we'll see what she says. I distinctly remember, I think it was the same day, because Ryan doesn't like beat around the bush. He just said, right, I'm coming in, my mum's going to come in, she's going to meet you, and then we'll just have a chat about it. So after talking to the Claw, Roz, we just hit it off. All three of us were on the kind of the same page. This is a brand that needed something more than just a logo, needed much more than just social media doing it. It needed a message, it needed a core message. Everybody needed that, they needed something. And I was excited, to be honest. Come in, you're just thinking healthcare recruitment, it sounds pretty boring, and I'm just like, look, this is not just any healthcare recruitment agency, this is something much, much bigger than that. I remember saying to him that, look, I'll need a bit more time than I usually have, because it's a lot bigger than most of our jobs, to be honest. And when you're doing a rebrand, they already had, I think it's 16 franchises. I'm thinking to myself, once we've done this, then Ryan's got to sell it into the rest of the franchises. So it really needs to connect with them. So I remember distinctly, they went through Christmas and I said, let's do it in the new year and we'll reveal it in the new year. I wasn't getting it at the time, and I said, look, I need to come down and spend a bit more time. I need to talk to the people that work with you. I need to talk to people and your employees when you two aren't there, to understand what the business is like and what it's like working for 247 Professional Health. Fucking hate it every time I say that name. It was about maybe 45 minutes in, after talking to everybody and what they were saying, that I kind of knew what I wanted to do.
It was sort of a lot to take in and understand about what exactly Tezlom do and who they are. For me personally, is because it was the first time I'd met any of them. We sat down, me and Tim, and spoke, and it might have been like the week after. And I remember it was just before we broke up for Christmas. Literally one of the last days, I think me and Tim sat down and was like, right, okay, let's just get some ideas down on paper, and we started to work away at it. And at the time, like I said, I don't think I'd fully processed what it was all in all. And as I was away at Christmas, I think it sunk in a little bit more, and I was thinking about it while I was having the sort of downtime. And then I came back, and Tim had done something over the break, and he said, what do you think of this? With what he'd done, I didn't really think it was right, but I had something in my head, and I was like, I've got an idea, leave this with me. And Tim had come up with this quite nice idea, the heart and the map marker, and that was sort of Tim's thing, but I just had the idea of how it should feel, and the font, it just sort of come to me over that time off. I took the sort of Tim's concept, what he'd come up with and what we'd done beforehand, and I said, just leave it with me for an hour, and I went away and sort of just put together what I had in my head. And then I think Tim just called Tim back in, and I said, have a look at what I've done, and straight away he just went, yeah, it's bang on that. That's exactly what it needs to be. So it just became like really obvious because of all the thinking time I'd had with what we need to do, and I literally did it, put it up, and Tim was like, yeah, that's right. We wanted something really unique, so did Ryan. He wanted something, that was just no one else could come near. So Tim had the idea of naming the company after Ryan's brother and father, who aren't involved in the business anymore, they used to be, as like a nice little legacy sort of homage to them. So we took the names Tom and Les, made an anagram of their two names, which ended up to be Tezlom. The design of the logo was pretty easy, really. Like after I said, we'd had all the time already to think about what we needed to do and where we wanted it to sit and how we wanted it to feel and make people feel when they've seen it. So we started off with the font Rubik, came across that. As soon as I seen it, I was like, yeah, this is the right font. It's nice, warm and welcome, rounded. It just looks caring in nature, the font itself. Really approachable, friendly, just reflects all the qualities of the Tezlom brand. And then obviously we took the O and we made that into the little heart map marker. Paying again a little bit of homage to the old brand, which was the old heart logo in the 247. So we brought that in, so it was a nod and a wink back to that. So it's almost a milestone where they could look back at their company and go, this is where we've sort of come from. So there's that little element in there as well. And then we went with the sweeter colours across the board that could be used, but we went with the aqua as the primary colour because it's just a nice, bright, vibrant colour. it just felt like the right choice, and just sits really nicely. It works well corporately, it works well publicly, so it just wasn't too offensive on any of those fronts. And then obviously we had the more specific colour suite they went into, which was, you know, more blues, reds, purples, oranges. We've used them across all the design elements now, so it just brings a lot more energy and life into the brand, rather than just the one colour. I mean, this reveal was a lot different to anyone that I've personally ever done before anyways, because of how sentimental the name was, particularly to Ryan and Roz, as it was, you know, their family. So obviously, you know, it was a little bit emotional. They loved the brand, loved everything we'd done, but I think it was just something they wasn't really expecting, and obviously it was a really nice little homage to Tom and Liz. So obviously it caught them off guard a little bit, but the feedback was very good. We knew going into it we'd nailed it. It was perfect for what it needed to do. So it was just nice to see how well it was received by Ryan and Roz. After that, obviously, we went down to Southport to the head office, and we pitched it in person to all their staff.
So me and Gaz went down, we pitched it in and got everybody to understand what the name was, to, you know, love the visual identity, to, you know, I want everybody to wear a t-shirt and wear a hoodie with pride, and a, you know, water bottle. They're picking it up, and Tom and Les are there with us all the time. You know, you only know if you know, and I like that about it. Alongside that, you know, Tezlom's a cool name. It's short, it's sweet. You know, I think Ryan always wanted that, so I've always ticked that box. But to have this, he always bangs on about me doing some sort of like magic fairy dust, which is absolute bollocks. That's what I've given it. That's what we've given it, not just what I've given it. And everybody loved it. Pitching something in that everybody loves you. Again, the self-worth on that is amazing.
Everyone came on board with it, and then we sort of proceeded with the normal routine of things then. So it was, right, okay, everyone's on board, let's generate some content, let's get some photo shoots done, let's start building the website. It was almost a rebrand times 12 or franchise as it is, so yeah, substantially more work.
So after the reveal, that's where the fun happens, because I get to have a look over the brand, see what kind of story's been built up so far, see what I can add to the story and see how we can tell it. So what's incredible about the Tezlom brand is all of the colours, the fact that we pulled people right to the front of the brand as well, which is right up my street. I love colour, I love people, so to put all of that together through a visual way, that was the bit that I was excited about. So the first thing we did for Tezlom was capture the actual team. They've got an amazing team at head office, Ryan, Zoe, Roz, all of the guys. So the first job was to capture the team. The shoot went really well. I got to know firsthand all the different personalities that are in the office. It's a big office full of big personalities, so yeah, it was fun. Anybody who says that photo and video is easy is lying, and I can safely say that every single one of the Tezlom team, I mean, they used to be by now, because I pretty much go there every month and shoot them, so they used to be kind of turning up at the office and flying around with a video or a photography camera. But I think for the first batch of photos and videos, obviously, yeah, everyone's going to be nervous. You know, they're not sure how they're going to come across on photo and video. You know, they're not really sure how it goes and what's going to happen. But the day went really well, really successful. Ryan is absolutely mint at videos now. So yeah, the whole thing's been really, really good.
I think when we initially sat down for the branding, I was there, so I got a feel for what sort of they needed. And especially, I suppose, the worry of making the big change, coming from what they had initially to the new brand, as it's a big step. So we did talk quite a lot about moving over, you know, and making it seamless. So obviously the franchises and everything else could easily move over without worrying about the big change. I mean, the main concern was obviously Google, things like that as well, losing the ranking, you know, making sure that the site moved over seamlessly to the new one without dropping any pages, any reputation in Google. And then obviously the one of the main concerns was that the franchises could manage their own page, have a little bit of control over parts of it, and be able to log in, access sort of, you know, documentation, guides, videos to help them sort of deal with certain processes and stuff like that. That was the main focus of the site. I mean, the design and the overall outcome of it all is really good. I mean, I spend a lot of time on the mobile version to make sure they can do what they need to do by the phone, as most people use the phone nowadays. The area for the franchises to log in and get support and use the tools in the back is great. What it provides on terms of information is brilliant. You know, pulls in the YouTube videos, any social, you know, Instagram, anything going on, it is pulled straight onto the site live. One of the key features that he wanted was the functionality for the franchises to be able to log in again and have like their own little home hub where they could get support, videos, download documents, any forms they needed, just really to, as well, so that as a franchise the brand doesn't get diluted by everybody, you know, going off and using their own designers or using their own, you know, for the logos and stuff, so it's all in-house, really to keep the continuity of the brand and the strength of the brand throughout the whole, all of the franchises. The differences with this is I'm not just building it for one client, even though Tezlom is one company, but he's got to make sure that everybody, existing franchises, are happy with it, so he's had to present it, we've had to make sure that the site, everybody's happy with it and it's easy to use for everybody, because different franchises may have a different skill set in terms of IT. They might have someone in the office who can whiz through it and know how to use the back end, then you've got some other person, elderly person maybe, that might not be as computer literate, you know, that wouldn't be able to work it, so it's got to be quite easy to use.
I first met Ryan and Roz when they came in for a meeting. I think it was November last year. They came in for, I think it was a free Friday, to meet Tim and talk about what was then 24/7 professional health. From the initial meeting, Ryan actually only wanted the one site which was accessible to everyone, including people who wanted to buy one of the Tezlom franchises and people who wanted to work for Tezlom. After further discussion with Ryan, we thought it would be best to actually build a second site, which is now tezlomfranchising.com. This is purely for people who are looking to buy a Tezlom franchise. It has more information than the original site, and now the original site is actually aimed more at candidates and people who have already bought a Tezlom franchise. The visual element of the Tezlom website was actually led heavily by the branding. It's got friendly colours, it's got all of the Tezlom branding colours in there, all 6 of them. We decided to go for a user-friendly experience, as we knew candidates would be logging into the back end, we knew franchises would be logging into the back end, and we just really wanted to make it as user-friendly as possible. I love the overall design and functionality of the Tezlom site. Like I said, it's dead user-friendly, and from the actual visual element of landing on the Tezlom site, you get a really nice feel for the brand, you get what the brand's about. It really rounded up the brand. It was lovely to see the brand actually come together in one space, and obviously the additional franchise insight just added that final touch. I think the Tezlom brand as a whole is an amazing brand. I think it's pulled in the family element of Tezlom. I think it's pulled in everything that Tezlom's about. I think it shows Ryan's personality, Roz's personality. I think it rounds them up very well as a company. And like I said, to see it all come together, it's just been amazing.
Yeah, I think the brand at the minute is growing really well. It's always going to, and I think you've got Ryan behind it, kicking people up the arse all the time and making things happen, because that's the kind of person he is. I think, if anything, it's exceeding my expectations of where I thought it would be. But what's nice to see is that it has stayed on brand. Everything we've done has been carried through, everything we've set out, and we've stayed true to the Tezlom brand that we created. And I think that's one of the reasons that it's been so successful, is just because people get it, people understand it, and people are buying into it. It's that building that trust with people, and when people trust your brand, they'll buy from you all day long.
Yeah, of course the brand's completed and it's growing massively with what they're doing on social and everything else. And in terms of the websites are never finished. A good website's never finished. It'll always evolve and it'll always come up with new features and, you know, new ways sort of to attract the audience, as well as new ways or new features that the franchises can have as a tool set to help them on a day-to-day basis. From concept right through to the end of the website, it has worked great, and it's showing that. You know, I don't think there's anybody in that industry that looks as attractive and looks as professional. Just look like they're leading the way, really, and how it should be done.
Tezlom for me isn't a job, and they're not a client. They're like the friends. I feel like actually part of the family. Like I turn up, do a photo shoot, do a video shoot with Ryan and Zoe and Roz and Alison and all the amazing people that work there. and it just feels like home, it feels like family, and yeah, so I feel like I'm really struggling to talk about Tezlom as a job, because it's much more than a job. They are much more than a job, although sometimes it can be hard work, but it's fine. Mainly Ryan. Always Ryan.
The mission statement, the underlying core of Tezlom is looking after people. But why can't you have fun doing it? Why can't you be yourself? And that's what Tezlom's all about. They honestly do look after everybody. And I can see it when they're doing interviewing processes, and I look out the corner of my eye and the way Zoe looks after people, and you know, even Liz, I got to know Liz a little bit more, and you know how deep she is and stuff. It's nice. I love people, mate. I love all the girls and Johnny. I think they're mint.
I love working with Tezlom. I think they're a great group of people. They've got a very solid team. They're really easy to work with. They've become a lot more than clients. They've become like our friends.
Looking back on when I first met Ryan, he was actually quite reserved, quite quiet, didn't really say much to me at first. I think he was kind of keeping himself to himself and maybe sussing us out the same way that I was kind of secretly sussing him out. But when you peel back all of the layers of Ryan Armitage and you get to the real core of what it is that he's about, he's just mint. He looks after people, he really cares about everybody that he works with, everybody that he meets actually, to be fair. He just wants to bring everybody together, wrap everybody up and just look after everybody. And I think for me, that was so important that we got that across in the photography. Yeah, it was difficult at first because everyone's nervous and everyone's kind of, like I said before, how am I going to come across, you know, what are people going to think of me? But Ryan is Ryan, he's mint, he is one of a kind. But yeah, you get what you see with Ryan. No filter, absolutely no filter.
Yeah, so the bromance between Tim and Ryan, it's real, to say the least. I don't think I've ever seen Tim talk to anyone as much on the phone as Ryan, talking about God knows what. Like, majority of the time it isn't about work, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
The Tim and Ryan bromance has been amazing to watch blossom. It's lovely that Tim's finally got a friend that is an LB. Yeah, it's just lovely that they've got each other.
I'm actually really glad that Ryan has found Tim and that Tim's found Ryan, because Tim is super concentrated on his work. You know, he puts absolutely everything into every client that we have. So it's just really nice that he's got kind of Ryan to bounce ideas off, and I think Ryan keeps Tim on his toes, and I think Tim keeps Ryan on his toes as well. I feel like the yin and yang, and honestly I don't mind being the third wheel when them two are involved.
A lot of people say that we've got a bit of a bromance going on, and it annoys Kay a little bit when Ryan rings up because I'm quite giddy with him on the phone. But Ryan's on kind of the same level as me. Like, we're talking on depths that I don't talk with anybody else, and I've not talked with a long time, but because nobody else gets it, running your own business, having employees and stuff, you've got this inside language that nobody really understands. And every time he rings up, you know, we just get each other. It's weird because, like, when I did meet him for the first time, I'm just like, no, this guy's not for me. I can tell you right now. Fucking suit pants, fucking pink cardigan, whatever he calls it, a vest top or something. Thinking this guy's fancy as a motherfucker. He's not for me. And when he started talking, I was just like, that doesn't compute. Why is he wearing that? And that was it then. As soon as I told him to take his suit off, like, we've been sort of friends ever since. I think Tezlom's turned out better than I thought, if I'm going to be honest. But it's only turned out like that because of Ryan. I don't know, I'm going about the bromance and I'm not going to get ripped for this, but he's just got this insatiable appetite. He gets stuff done. He's like, you mention something, he's on the phone getting it done. And that's what I like about him. You know, like I said, a lot of people tell him to calm down and stuff, but it's like having a racehorse and keeping it in the stables and not racing it. That's how I look at Ryan. It wouldn't be where it is today it wasn't for Ryan. I don't think people give him enough credit for who he is. And I know he balloons sometimes, but you just shouldn't control somebody like that. And I think that's why I get on with him so much, because I'm exactly the same. That's what I love about Ryan. That's what I love about Tezlom, that it's just growing all the time. I'm excited for the future for it. Like I said, we've got the benchmark, we've got the building blocks down, the brand's done, and it's boom. Now we're just going to start getting mental.
Message for Ryan Armitage. Where the fuck do I start? Jokes aside, Ryan, you broke the mould. Like, I thought Tim broke the mould when I got to know Tim, but fuck me, you have broke the mould. You are 1 in a million. I'm kind of glad there's only one of you. I think I can only just about deal with one of you. But yeah, just keep being you. I know you think I'm this slag from Warrington who's a bit airy-fairy and she likes to hug trees and shit, which is partly true. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep annoying me, keep frustrating me, keep calling me names, keep ringing me up and then putting the phone down, because yeah, I wouldn't have you any other way.
So my message to Ryan Armitage is, don't ever change. You're an amazing person and I love working with you.
Yeah, so Ryan, just want to take a second to say, the next time there's any sort of mistake when it comes to printing or artwork or anything like that, just remember this video, remember my face, and just think, I'm going to go easy on him this time. And next time we go to Saki, it's a 30-piece platter for me, please, pal.
Ryan, I know we keep banging on about expectations and stuff like that, mate, and you do stuff for people, and sometimes you get you overthink stuff, and you kind of thinking that, you know, you've done something for somebody and why have they not done it back for me? But I notice everything that you do, mate, and you should be really fucking proud of yourself for the person you are and the person that you're becoming. You've got to be alright with just doing stuff for people and not get anything back in return, because that's who you are. And that's my message to you. That's the one thing, if I could ask a wish for you, that would be that you are alright with that. That's it, mate.